What's up, Goober Nation, and today I'm back with another how to play video. Now I know it's been a while and I haven't been following through like I said I would, but I'm back nonetheless. I'm not gonna make any excuses and just hold my L. I'm gonna hold it. But enough chit chat, let's get right into the video. If this is your first time watching one of these how to play videos, let me explain how it works. Since I know how to play a good bit of the roster, I am taking the time out to teach you new players or players that want to learn a certain character how to play that certain character. However, I won't teach characters that I don't know how to play. That should be pretty obvious, right? Don't want to be feeding you some nonsense. Also, I will not teach the following: Base Goku, Blue Ku, God Ku, Male Human. What we'll be covering over the course of this video is 4 important topics: strengths and weaknesses, recovery, combos, and stamina breaks. All of these are the essential things you need to know to play your character. Now that you know, let's get right into our character for today.
Hey everyone, I know you're enjoying the video, but there's a slight interruption from me. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for your daily dose of Caden TXD. Also, check out the Twitch. There's a link in the description down below. Thank you.
Yes, that is correct. Today we'll be looking at the female human. Female humans have always been a good character within the bracket of CECs. I mean, they're a good character in general, but you get the idea. Not to mention, you do see your fair share of female humans online, so I know there is a good bit of y'all who will be thankful seeing this video. Now let's get into what makes a female human strong. Easily the first thing we gotta talk about is how strong their ki blast damage is. Similarly to the female Saiyan, they have high ki blast damage, although not as strong, but they aren't lacking in firepower. This also leads into the next strength. Majority of their basic attack strings are vanish knockbacks, making it easy to combo those ki blast supers. Whether it be Saturday Crash or Gallic Gun, you can combo a good 95% of the moves with their strings. Having vanish knockbacks allows for a lot of versatility when it comes to doing combos. Not to mention that it can also be used as a great defensive tool as well, but we'll get into that later. When you are unsure of what your opponent is going to do, you can be rest assured that another strength of the female human is their great recovery. They may not be able to step cancel out of any of their combos, but they are able to block, which in itself is a great option to have. Most characters who are negative on block or with moves in neutral tend to just get counter hit. However, female humans has enough recovery to block after they whiff a combo in neutral. This gives them the opportunity to perfect block opponents that mash when they think it's their turn. With all that in mind, let's get into the negatives of female humans. With the first being their lack of basic attack damage. Even if you make a female human with the most weight, it's still going to take some investment to really see their basic attack damage. The scaling on their attacks is just not high enough, which is probably why they have so many vanish knockback strings. Also, which is why most people tend to make ki blast builds with the female human, considering that their basic attack damage is low and their melee super damage is pretty abysmal. But it doesn't stop there. Along with having little basic attack damage, they also have no range on the majority of their strings. Seeing how Xenoverse's netcode is the most wonkiest thing ever, having range on your basic attacks is pretty vital. Not only does it make your hitbox bigger, but it also gives you a better chance at connecting those attacks in Xenoverse's poor netcode. If you think about all the top tier characters in the game, they either have some type of range to them or better priority. Goku, Cooler, Fu, Bardock, Whis, and Broly are names to mention. Lastly, which is just a personal gripe for me, is the lack of knockdown combos. Knowing Xenoverse's netcode and maps, having a good knockdown combo to the ground is way better than knocking someone away. At least with the knockdown to the ground, you have a better chance of confirming the supers or ultimates you want to do. Whereas with the knockback away, you have to take in consideration of the map walls. Is the person fighting falling out of your strings? Does Xeno netcode teleport you to the wrong side of the map? I'm pretty sure everyone has experienced something like this. Things like this are really what could screw you over. But like I said, that's just me, so you can take this with a grain of salt if you like. If you're still committed to learning this character even after all of that, let's move on to their combos and recovery. I won't go over every combo because I find it unnecessary to teach combos that you shouldn't use online. Also, I'm not here to teach you anything advanced either. For those in the comments that know advanced tech, kindly let others know in the comments. I'm only here to teach you the combo strings that are useful. Alright, let's move on to the first combo. The first combo we'll look at is 5 squares. Yes, I know it's the most basic, but it's also the most important string on any character. As long as you can remember 5 squares on any character, you will have a lot of uses for it. For female humans, it's just your average combo string. There isn't really anything special about it, and in most cases you only use this combo for a stamina break. Ideally, you don't do the full version of this combo but use its triangle iterations. Remember when I said female humans have good recovery? Well, they do, but not against characters who have faster attacks than them. Using this string is not advisable against characters who are faster than you when hitting their block, so be mindful of that. Gohan, UI Goku, and Hit are good examples. The next combo we'll be looking at are the triangle iterations. This combo is mainly used for offense. Reason being is you won't get the full combo on block, so there's that. Offensively, this move has a lot of unique capabilities to it. You can step cancel and pick up the combo with more basic attacks, or you can use supers after the knockback. But do be careful, if you have them in an off-balance state, you do a longer version of the combo string. You can still combo supers into it, but you can no longer step cancel to pick it up. As you can see, this combo is very good for quick damage. The next combo string we'll be looking at is the full triangle string. This string is another offensive tool. Its main property is that it's the best damaging combo for female humans. This combo has a heavy knockback as well, so it works nicely with most ults. It's also pretty good on block, but just remember that against faster characters it won't be very good, so keep that in mind. Also, a little tip for you is that the first input of the string has a deceptively long hitbox. I would keep this in mind for you when you're playing defensively. The last combo string we'll be looking at are the dash attack strings, one of, if not the most important string female humans have. This string is your main source of damage, recovery, and finisher. Let's get into things one step at a time. First, let's start with what the inputs are. Since there are many ways for the female human to get their dash attack string, let's look at the simplest way to do it. All squares is the simplest way you can do the dash attack string. This way takes the longest and is not really optimal, so I only advise using this until you get the hang of the other variations. Remember to never hit the final square. I tell you to stop here because at the end of the string you do a final hit that you can't recover from if someone vanishes from your attack. Okay, now that you got an understanding of what it looks like, let's go into the other variations of this string. There are two quicker ways to go into the dash attack strings. The first option is to start with triangles and then into squares. And the second option is to input square triangle and then back to squares. I know it sounds confusing, but I'll have it on screen so you won't be too confused. For you Xbox people, always think square is equal to X and triangle is equal to Y. If your brain is too smooth to understand that, well then, I don't know what to say to you. Now that you know the routes, let's get into your damage options. The first is to simply do a Ki Blast or melee super after the first or second knockback. If you're afraid of your opponent vanishing a lot, then you most definitely utilize this quick damage option. The second option is to finish the dash attack combo, then follow it up with the super. I will say though, when doing the second option, be mindful of the supers you use as a follow-up. The angle at which they are knocked down doesn't allow for a lot of supers to connect. Divine Retribution, Endless Shoot, and Saturday Crash are some good examples of moves to use after that follow-up. Now that you got an idea to utilize your damage options, let's get into recovery. Let me explain something first before we get into the meat of everything. In Xenoverse 2, there is something I like to call false hit confirms. These false hit confirms allow for certain interactions to happen. Let's say for instance I hit you but it doesn't register in the game, which happens a lot in this Duke netcode, a false hit if you will. The game registers the confirmation of the hit and all its properties attached to it. Let me show you an example. As you can see in this clip, I clearly didn't hit her because she vanished. But because the game already did the animation for my last hit, all the properties attached to that were implemented. This is one instance of false hit confirms. There are many others, but this is the only one we'll focus on for right now because we are only looking at female humans. Now that you understand what false hit confirms are, let's get into the recovery of female humans. If you couldn't tell already, that is one way to recover. You see, while doing any of the dash attack knockbacks, you are able to pick them up simply by dashing towards your opponent. Being able to do that alone is a big thing. Why, you might ask? Well, let me tell you. Being able to simply dash out of a combo means you have other options available to you, like blocking, or in the clip I just showed you, step dashing around your opponent. Having this ability allows for so much counterplay potential. You can mix your opponents with a back hit, you can snap behind them if they like key stunning, you can immediately turn around and fight them to catch them off guard, or you can cancel into a grab. And speaking of grabs, oh boy. Yeah, you saw that right. You can pick up female human grabs. You do, however, have to be somewhat near the ground for it to work. The simple fact that you can pick up a grab and consistently do it is downright outrageous. Majority of the characters that can pick up grabs are top tier characters. Not only can it be picked up by basic attacks, it can also be picked up by supers and ultimates, surprisingly. Gallic Gun is the only super that has consistently worked for me, but I'm sure people have found other moves. Times 4 Kaioken Kamehameha is also an ultimate that works. I'm pretty sure there's more, but I haven't found too many. The mixed potential for grabs is kinda crazy in my opinion. If you guess right and your opponent is too stupid to learn their lesson, you can just continuously grab someone. I don't advise it, but it's pretty fun doing it to new players. Now that we've pretty much covered everything on female humans, all that's left is to show you the rest of your stamina break strings. I'll have two versions up on screen for you, an offline version and an online version for those who don't believe the offline version works. Alright, that's it for stamina breaks. Lastly, I'll show you some gameplay and give a brief summary on the character. Female humans are great at dishing out key blast damage, having good defense, and having great recovery options. All in all, this character is pretty straightforward in their playstyle. Having tons of mix-ups doesn't allow them to be predictable like most CACs. Although their lack of basic attack damage is really what stopped them from being any more than what they are, utilize your vanish attacks to mix your opponent and lay down that massive key blast damage.
You ain't fucking hard, pussy nigga, I'ma make your ass remember this. Got my hair up, look like X, I'm maleficent.